All right, folks, good morning. How are you? It is a little after 1 in the morning here at work. You know who I am, you know what I do. Saturday night into Sunday. And this, as you can see, is a can of brake parts cleaner. It is also can be used for cleaning other parts for your engine. And as most of you know, I have the 2000 Chevy S10 ZR2 package truck 4x4 that I use strictly here for work. And most of you know by now through previous videos, I paid a lot of money for the truck, which I'm making payments on, which is actually almost paid off. And I kept getting a P0300 check engine light for random cylinder misfire. And I have changed the spark plugs, the wires, had the intake manifold gasket changed, the plenum gasket changed, the coil changed, spark plugs and wires, if I didn't say that already. The EGR valve was changed, and this light kept on coming on. It just would not go off for anything that I could think of. Well, as it turns out, there was one thing I did not think of. And as you can see right here, because it's soaking in the brake clean fluid, it is a PCV valve. And if I can get you a little closer in, you can see all these black dots, like one right there. There was a whole bunch of black dots. You can still see some of the corrosion right there from the gunk and soot that's in it. And as you can see on the inside, it is dirty as can be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this soak for a couple of hours. I just did around here at work for security. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this soak for a little bit and see if it can come clean. Now I have a little towel here so that I can dry it up with. And I initially cleaned this earlier because I could not hear the little ball on the inside. You know, when you shake it, it's supposed to make a little noise from the ball on the inside. Well, the little ball on the inside was not making noise. So I cleaned it up as best as I could. I actually sprayed the brake parts cleaner inside of it, and the water wouldn't, or the fluid would not come out through this end. So I sprayed it in this end, let it set for a little bit, drained it out onto the towel, make sure it was all dried off, and then I shook it as hard as I could until the ball started moving. So I cleaned it out again. I sprayed it a couple of times with the brake clean. This might be going a little extreme, but I'm just, not taking any measures. So I'm just going to go ahead and soak it and let it set in here and let it get cleaned out. And then I'll put it back on the truck and hook it back up, and hopefully the check engine light won't come back on. But I actually test drove the truck before I took it out, and the check engine light did not come back on. Now I did run a diagnostic on the truck with my OBD2 reader that I did show you, and cleared all the codes because the check engine light was on when I got to work tonight. So I cleared the code, drove the truck around for at least 10 minutes, and normally from what you guys have seen, it comes on in less than a minute, maybe 2 at the most. Well, the check engine light did not come on. And when I parked the truck, I ran another code on it, and it has a pending code for the same thing, P0300. So I cleared it, and I'm just waiting to see, after I hook this back up, I'm going to take it for another round. And if this ends up being the problem, then instead of just going off of this one that I just cleaned, I may just replace it. It's only like $4 at AutoZone for a replacement PCV valve. But that may have ended up solving my issue. And if the check engine light does not come back on, I'll drive the truck around to, in the afternoon Sunday, being Father's Day and all. I'll probably take it to see my dad over in Pittsburgh. And if the check engine light does not come back on, I may just say to heck with it. Drive it like this for a little bit. Get a replacement PCV valve just in case. But as I can tell from what I'm going through right now, I think this right here may have solved the issue. And it's hard to believe I had over $1,500 worth of work. I'll just call it almost $2,000 worth of work done to a $3,500 car or truck. And it may end up only being a $5 at the most part, which is really, really, crazy considering how everything else was replaced that was possibly have been the culprit, only to not be the culprit. So if this ends up working, I'm going to let it soak for maybe an hour and a half, put it back on, take it for another trip, and if the check engine light doesn't come back on, I may get a replacement piece and just hang on to it until the check engine light comes back on, and then I just might replace it. But from what I can tell, this right here may just end up being the culprit. So I'm just going to let this soak, get all the gunk out from the inside. And matters of fact, I'll go ahead and you can see it's coming out through the end. But if I turn it upside down, it all comes out. So it's still a little bit gunky, so I'm going to let it set, you know, take care of everything it has to take care of, and then I may try it again later. But yeah, this right here may end up being the culprit. So I'm just going to let this soak, try and get a little, you know, shininess to it. Clean out the inside as much as you can, as much as I can. And you can see all the gunk and stuff still inside of there. That's one piece right there. But as you can see on the inside, there's still some gunk in there, but it actually looks a lot cleaner. And we'll bring it over here on the towel, dry it off a little bit, and you can hear it. You could not hear that before. So I'm just going to go ahead and let it continuously soak in there for a couple of hours and see if that ends up being a problem. So the next video that I do on the truck will most likely be is if this solves it or if it doesn't. And then probably my next project on the truck will probably be the brake light being on, which I think is the sensor for it, which I believe is on the passenger side inside of the hub bearing. So that shouldn't be a problem to change. Hopefully I can do it on my own because the brakes work. It's got fluid in it. It's just the brake light is on. So I'm going to give that a shot and see if that, you know, helps anything out with it. So I'm going to go ahead and end this now. It's been a little over 7 minutes. And I will definitely give an update probably on this post to tell you if it worked or not. And right here is the part number, which you can't really see, but there's a part number on that. So I'm going to go ahead and let this sit and just see what happens. So until then, take care, stay safe, don't hate on anybody, keep your hands clean, wear your face mask when you have to, and show your love for everybody, especially in this time and period. Take care, bye-bye.